All right, everybody. We're getting ready to go live in about 5 minutes. So get ready for another rendition of Have Faith, Let It Begin. In about 5 minutes, we'll be going live. Officially, we're waiting for the post notifications to go out to everybody out there all over the podcasting world. And that's going to be, of course, Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Tumblr, YouTube, Facebook like page, my website, havefaithletitbegin.com. There's so many things that are going out right now as we speak. And until that goes out, we're going to just talk to you a little bit before we go officially live. Today's episode is going to be about final exams. Do you remember when? Final exams? Oh yeah, we're definitely going to cover that since it's getting toward the end of the school year and prom season is around the corner. And that just gave you an inkling as to what is going to be on Friday's episode. Prom time, that's right. We're going to talk about the prom. Remember the prom. So that's going to be on Friday. Thursdays, I'm not sure yet what we're going to do, but today is definitely final exams. Tomorrow is still up in the air, so if you have any ideas, send them over to our Facebook like page or sign up to our family email address at havefaithletitbegin.com. You can even email us directly and say, hey, sign me up. And that's at angel at havefaithletitbegin.com. So there's opportunities for you guys to take advantage and to get aboard of this amazing new journey that we're on with this podcast. Folks, I am excited each and every day to come into your homes, into your vehicles, into your lives. Just want to point out a couple quick notes. We're going to be available every single day next week as usual, Monday through Friday at 7:30 a.m. And also want to point out a couple things to you. For those of you that are just tuning in, this is just a pre-show before we go live officially at 7:30. And one of the things that I was watching, I got to give credit to Shelly Palmer. So he's at Shelly Palmer on Twitter. He's a tech guru. And one of the things he pointed out is that when you're a podcaster, sometimes people don't know what podcasts are. And some people don't know how to access that. So here's a good way to do it. Go to Google. So thank you, Google. Go to Google and type in Have Faith, Let It Begin. It will list the last 3 episodes of the podcast, which I didn't even know. So if you are not one that is too, computer savvy, but you know how to go on Google, type in Have Faith, Let It Begin. We will show up. Our icon will come up, our logo, I should say. Click on that, and it'll give you the last 3 recent episodes. So that was pretty cool to point out. And that's about it. We're going to get started today. I've got a half day at work, and then I've got to go and do a personal thing today. A great thing, actually. I'm excited. I'm going to be marrying somebody, so that's going to be today. And that's what we're going to be doing. All right, folks, with that being said, let's get a little bit of a head start here, and let's get started with another rendition of Have Faith, Let It Begin. I hope you're excited, because I am. Today's episode is called Final Exams. When I was a child, my mom always told me, Angel, when you were born, all the angels came from heaven. Do you know why? Because you're special. On June 16, 2018, I launched my show, Have Faith, Let It Begin. I always wanted to change the world, share my personal testimony, share real-life stories and motivational topics to set out to go out and change the world. Join me each and every week, Monday through Friday at 6 a.m., because this is a show all about faith. My name is Angel, and welcome to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hi, I am Mia. You're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hi, my name is Isabella, and you're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin. Hello, my name is Amari, and today we are back on another episode of Have Faith and Let's Begin.
Thank you, Amari. Thank you, Mia. Thank you, Isabella. Welcome, everyone, to another live edition of Have Faith, Let It Begin. We're about 18 seconds early than usual. And don't worry, we're going to get started exactly at 7:30 with the actual, message for today. Oh, there we go, 7:30 on the dot. Folks, welcome to another episode. My name is Angel, and today is Wednesday, May 15th, 2019. The sun is out, the sun is shining, and I am so glad to be with you here today on this hump day of Wednesday, and we are getting ready to start this, this interesting school series. Today we're going to talk about final exams. Tomorrow is up in the air. And all of you can write to us today at angel@halffaithletitbegin.com and tell us what actual topic you would like to hear tomorrow. I'm opening it up to each and every one of you. Something that has to do with school, high school, or even college. Because Thursday's episode is wide open. Today's about final exams. And Friday, we're going to talk about the prom. Since it is prom season, I thought it'd be kind of cool to talk about the prom. So that's what we're going to be discussing on Friday. Folks, let's get started. Final exams. When you hear the word final, woof, gets a little bit, it's like one of those bittersweet feelings, right? You know you're at the end, but then you hear the word exam, and then you know there's a test. And as our show has many times expressed, that our faith is always tested. You know, in the very beginning, as we launched our show, we had Gabby Santana sing a song called Tested, and it was called Tested for a reason, because our faith can be tested. And one of the things that we will remember is that God doesn't punish. You know, God does teach us, and we learn, hopefully, from our mistakes. We learn, actually, when we succeed, and we definitely learn when we fail, because failing is half the battle. So here's a quick story for you. I remember taking my exam, and I think I've brought this up before on an episode regarding certain tests, but I want to bring it up one more time because it has a big meaning for today's episode. I remember I was, and probably still am a little bit, it's just been a while since I took an exam, but I remember every time a test would come, my hands would begin to sweat. My heart would start pounding. It's just that feeling of failure, not having the feeling that I can succeed. Always walking in, knowing in my mind that I was going to fail, not giving myself the opportunity to try and be victorious. So many times I walked in and I knew the material, but for some reason I just failed under pressure. And as you grow up, that's one of the things we have to learn to try to overcome, is become more secure in ourselves, to believe in ourselves, and to do it, and to do it passionately. So here's my story. As I got to college, I got into a rut for a little while, and one of the ruts I got into was the final exams. And final exams to me can mean the final exam of a chapter. Final exam to you could be at the end of the school year when you have to take finals, or your last test, so that determines whether or not you move forward and get a certificate, a degree, a good passing grade, etc. One of the things that I had difficulty with was, in this particular class, I couldn't figure out why I just couldn't pass the quizzes. And I called him a doctor because he was like almost like a doctor of style. But Professor Brooks, if you're listening, this is about you. And you know, Professor Brooks knew that I had the opportunity and the abilities to pass this test. He knew and believed in me. So he put me aside and he said, listen, stop thinking about the grade. Concentrate on the material. He says, you know this stuff. I know you know this stuff. And I want you to know that I believe in you. So no matter what happens, I know you will pass. So I said, wow, it's pretty interesting. So one day, I go in and I bombed the test. I literally bombed the test. He pulled me aside and said, listen. And he started asking me questions about what was on the test. And I answered them all correctly. And he says, I don't understand. What is it that it's going to take for me to tell you that I believe in you? He says, I'm going to try something with you on the very next exam. So when the next exam comes, no matter what you see on that paper, take the test. And I couldn't understand what he meant by that. So, that Friday came, and I took an exam. The paper came to me as he was passing it around. And as soon as he passed out the test, I looked at the very top where I was going to put my name. And in red ink, it said, 95%, great job. And I looked up at him and I said, I didn't even take the test yet. He says, Angel, you've already passed in my book. No matter what happens today, that's going to be your final grade. Do you hear me? And I said, yeah, I think so. He goes, take the test. Have fun. I scored 100 on that test. I believe that with the right people in your path, with the right opportunities that present itself, true teachers, true people that do their job because they care about what they do. For example, this professor believed in his job. He loved to teach, and he loved to socialize with his students to the point where he got to know them, and he learned their weaknesses. He learned what could be beneficial. You don't find many teachers like that. Some of them just come to work, collect the paycheck, and go home. Some of them are very strict, and they won't bend a little bit, and they won't get to know their students. Some of them forget their names. A final exam can be a final experience, but it can be the beginning of a journey. And yes, what if I would have failed that test? That's probably the first thing that some of you would have said. What if you would have failed the test? I believe he would have done everything in his power to give me a maybe an oral exam. Maybe he would have said something to the nature of, let me help you. But he was not going to give me the answers. He was going to make me work for it. And that's the hardest part to describe to each and every one of you, because in life, we are tested. In life, we have exams. And a lot of these exams that happen don't require a paper and pen. They're life exams. They're life tests. And a lot of them deal with the same things that we were taught when we were kids. Being honest, being truthful, respecting one another. Why is it that those tests that have been given to us when we were kids are not the same tests that we can pass today? Why is it that so many people today often feel that they need to cheat to get by? They need to disrespect those around us, kind of like when you're in a classroom and they're bullying other people. Why is it that we as individuals feel the need to put others down? What kind of tests are we trying to prove? What kind of tests are we trying to pass so that we can show off to each other? What grade do you think God is going to give each and every one of us when we meet Him? I don't know about you, but for me, the only grade I want, the only grade I feel that I deserve, is the one that presents itself to me. The one that says to me, Angel, I have created you in my image. I know you're a good person, and I expect you to go out and do all that you can to trust in yourself, to trust in others, to believe in yourself, and to have faith, and let it begin. My name is Angel, and I hope you liked and enjoyed today's episode. Have faith, let it begin. Thank you for listening to another episode of Have Faith, Let It Begin. That's right, Ariel. We're done with another show. And it's always great to have this show with you, man love. You know, we're going to encourage each and every person to listen to our show every single weekday. That's right, you and I are going to help change the world. Do you think that you can do that for me? Huh? Yeah, you know you can. She does. We want to let you know, and yes, we encourage you to listen to our show each and every weekday, and it's going to be live at 7:30. Make sure you're subscribed to our show. Make sure you get ready, fasten those seatbelts, because Ariel and I and my family are going to bring you a new topic, a new story each and every day, right? Isn't that right, Ariel? Yeah. And she's smiling at me. Guys, enjoy your day. Don't forget, everyone, subscribe to our show. We're available Monday through Friday, weekdays at 7:30 a.m. And don't forget to be kind and respect one another. Have a great day.